fellow book lovers, welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline. So for today's video, while I am excited, I am also fully expecting to maybe hurt my own feelings. So a couple of months ago over on the Bibliovertpodcast, Allie and I did an episode where we guess the book off of the 1-star review. And literally, we had so much fun. It was an absolute blast. I'm pretty sure that episode is a Patreon exclusive, so you won't be able to find that one on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or Google Play. But needless to say, we had a blast. So going off of how much fun that episode was, I have seen this video where you react to 1-star reviews of your favorite books on other YouTubers like G from Book Roast. So I decided that episode was so much fun, maybe this one will be fun. But I also didn't think it through that like these are my favorite books and these are going to be 1-star reviews, but it's fine. So I asked Allie, Jenna from Love 1,000 Lives, Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Cosplay, and Liz, who is one of my book besties, to go through and find some of the reviews that they thought were really funny for some of my favorite books. So let's do this. So first off, I am going to say that I think that there are going to be spoilers in these reviews. So I'm going to make sure that I put the timestamps in the description box down below if you want to skip ahead of a certain book review so that you don't get it spoiled. So just a little heads up. It looks like this one is for Six of Crows and this is Minty's review. When I think of the word disappointment, Six of Crows comes to mind. I had too much fun using emojis, almost as obnoxious as Kaz's character, and this review is going to be full of opinions by me. Please don't read this review if you get offended easily and love this book. Well, I think technically I fall into both of those categories, but we're gonna keep going. First, the characters. Jesper's only personality trait is liking guns. Old crusty musty Kaz is boring and extremely overhyped. Honestly, I cared about Illiminae more than I care about Kaz. I would sell Kaz's soul for $10 or less. That's really funny because I did not enjoy Illiminae's character. Matthias is better than Kaz because Matthias actually went through character development, and even though he was brainwashed as a child, his love for Nina overcame that. That's a good theme, even though it's as cliche as all the other characters in this book. I liked Nina. She was brave and kind and better than the other characters. What was Wineland's personality supposed to be? And just an average main character. Besides, she was the Wraith. The only law that applied to her was gravity, and some days she defied that too. Gravity doesn't apply to her. That's really funny. Second, the plot. You're telling me a group of broke teenagers spent 5 pages planning a heist and then managed to pull it off from a building that no adults could break into. Love the realism there. Well, it is fantasy, so I mean, I don't read fantasy for realism, obviously, but I want it to make some kind of sense. This makes no sense. Third, the world building. I think Ketterdam was written well, but it depends a lot on the world building that the Grishaverse series established. I like the Grishaverse series more, even though it wasn't good, because at least I wasn't bored to death most of the time. These are my opinions on this book. Please don't attack me. That is really funny. That is really, really funny. Well, I'm sorry you didn't like it, Minty. This is Jonathan's review of Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood, which, love that book. I don't know what kind of drugs y'all are on, but evidently I did not receive my portion. The pure agony of having to read this. Yes, I was held at gunpoint and forced to finish it. Do not ask questions. I am not allowed to talk about it. I actually picked this to have something fun and easy to read in between studying, but instead I got this infuriating reading experience and a massive spike in my heart rate just from sheer annoyance. You will hear from my cardiologist. Believe me, he's not happy. This book started every chapter with a hypothesis, except that most of them aren't actually hypotheses. But who cares? Who cares? Wait, my test theory prof is calling and I think he does. Other than that, the science was actually the best part of the book. Also, the criticism is the bad working conditions of PhD students was also very well done. I'm only a master's student, but a PhD might be in my future plans and I can already feel the poverty. So hashtag relatable. That is very funny. I'm sure Jonathan knows this, but Allie Hazelwood does have a PhD, so I do think she has quite a good grasp on what being a PhD looks like. But Jonathan, I'm really sorry you did not enjoy the book because I loved it, but that was a very entertaining review. Oh my gosh, are we still... Oh, he's still going. Apparently Jonathan kept going, so here we go. You all do you, I guess, but I'll do me. 1.5 stars. Poor guy. Oh no. This makes me really sad. This one makes me very, very sad. Okay, so this next one is Fruit's review, which I'm pretty sure we may have done another review of Fruit on our podcast episode. Because that name is stuck with me. But this is a review of the Illiminae files by Amie Kaufman and Jay, which I, for one, loved and devoured this series. It is a lot of fun. So anyway, this is Fruit's review of the Illiminae files. 1 star. I gave up at the last 25%. How? At the last, when so much was happening. That's really sad. And started flipping/skim reading barely. My honest opinions. Boring book. World building? What's that? No emotional connection with the characters. Crappy interview format. Some pages were written like a sci-fi version of Ruby Kaur's poems. Okay, that's kind of funny. Waste of ink, annoying characters. There was so much hype surrounding this book a few years back, hype that I did not understand because this is one of the worst books I've read in a while. Emotions, pissed off, and disappointed. That's such a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't realize that this was going to turn into me petitioning you to read my favorite books anyway, but I loved Illiminae because I have never read anything else like it before. The formatting of the paper and the way that it's super interactive, it just felt so different. And it had also been a long time since I had read sci-fi. And so it kind of felt like something fresh and new for me. I will say that the first book, Illiminae, is probably my least favorite in the trilogy, but it's still really, really good. So those are the characters that I connected to the least. But the characters that you meet throughout books 2 and 3 are amazing. And I mean, the characters in the first book are amazing too, but like these are spectacular. Hannah Donnelly, like, whew. Okay, so this next one is for Throne of Glass, and this is from Sunny. This is a 1-star review. If this garbage can somehow miraculously get published, then I have hope the smut I wrote 3 years ago can too. This book is freaking horrible. I wanted some badassery, but instead I got a crappy love triangle and annoying characters who I wish just died. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Okay, this one's for Bridge Kingdom, and this is by Chady. 1 star. This just made me want to jump off a bridge. Please don't. This is about Serpent and Dove, and Grace rated it 1 star. Every once in a while you select a silly, fun book and it surprises you by being compulsively readable and emotionally affecting, transcending cliche and developing unique and engrossing characters that make you want to stay in the world a lot longer. This was not that book. Oh, that's so sad. That's a big bummer. I feel like that's the only word I'm using. That's a bummer. That's a big bummer. I'm sorry for you. Grace, that was a funny description. Also about Serpent and Dove, Gray rated it 1 star. If I had known beforehand that Sarah J. Maas loved this book, then I would have saved myself some time, energy, and brain cells and simply not picked it up in the first place. Okay, so I'm guessing that they're not a Sarah J. Maas fan, which to each is their own. Okay, this is for An Ember in the Ashes, which is probably tied for my favorite series of all time. Okay, Adrienne rated this one 1 star. If you like Divergent, you probably like this book. I personally hated Divergent. How do those two things match? Divergent and this here, maybe the school aspect? Okay. The 2 alternating first-person points of views, numerous rape threats to the 2 female main characters, a love triangle for each of the 2 protagonists, randomly capitalized words, factions that are defined by one primary idea and nothing else except the special snowflake main characters are different, All of those things I don't like. Also, the world building and characters were incredibly flat. The writing was sparse and not in a good way and needed more description. I got no sense of the world or what it even looked like. At least it didn't take long to read. I'm sorry you didn't like. Okay, this one's another Ember in the Ashes one. Rated at 1 star. The only reason this book got 1.5 instead of 1 is Helen Aquila. That's funny. Helene is a great character. But ironically, I didn't love her in the first book. She had a lot of prejudice in the first book, but her growth in the series, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Okay, this one is for Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young, and this is Raz who rated it 1 star. DNF at 14%. I had to stop when she abandoned her fighting partner in the middle of a battle and got herself kidnapped. The whole point is that she sees her brother, whom she has thought has been dead for like several years, and she's like, I need to go after him and make sure that he's still alive. So like, it's not unreasonable. I probably would have done the same thing. I don't know, but I'm also not a Viking. Clearly. That's funny. Sorry, Raz. Okay, this one's also Sky in the Deep. Rain rated at 1 star. What is even the romance? Like, I'm sorry. Why do you like each other? Because he saved you. Like, sweetie, that's the bare ass necessities. She also cried every time they kissed. And that's just a big turn off for me. No, okay, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey has been one of my favorite romances that I've read in a minute. It absolutely cracks me up. Yasmin rated it 1 star. I would have gotten at least 1 more star if he wore a cap instead of a beanie. And 2 more if he wasn't a closeted sexist. Oh no. I think that Brendan has amazing growth throughout this book, and a lot of the things that he previously thought, he changes his mind on later, but the wearing a hat instead of a beanie part, that made me laugh. Okay, well, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun doing that. But definitely check us out over on Instagram at the Bibliovertpodcast. Please feel free to DM us and become friends with us. We love making new bookish friends. It would absolutely make our day. We also have a Patreon that is filled truly with some of the best people in the world. We have loved having a bookish community and family, and it has been such a bright spot in our lives. So if you are looking for something similar to that, definitely check it out. We also have a lot of really fun Patreon perks. So you can check that all out on our page. And we also have a podcast called the Bibliovertpodcast. And every month we do 2 book reviews and 2 topic episodes. And one of those topic episodes is always Patreon exclusive. So that will never be heard anywhere else but for our patrons. But we have just a lot of fun on our podcast, and it is a blast talking about books. So feel free to check that out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. But that is it for this video. I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.